So this god's name was Happy, and Happy was
H-A-P-I?
H-A-P-I. Yep, Happy. Not H-A-P-P-Y. Yeah, H-A-P-I is the name of the god, Happy. And so when God strikes the Nile with blood, it's like he killed Happy. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So he kills Happy, the god, showing his dominance over that particular god. And Happy's always depicted as a blue man, okay, in the drawings. The next god was the god of fertility, the god of water, the god of like renewal. So water, fertility, renewal. Okay, and her name is Hecate. Okay, now Hecate, you have any idea what how she's depicted? If you remember what the next plague is, how do you think she would be depicted?
Frogs.
She's a frog-headed deity.
She's
Okay.
She's a what?
And so,
Frog-headed deity.
Okay.
so what's the next plague? The next plague that comes out of
Frog.
is
Next
frogs
one.
out of the Nile,
Next thing.
showing that God has power over the frogs, over water, fertility, renewal, all of that. Okay, that's how he does it. So then, the next goddess is, next god. His name is Geb. Okay, I've heard it. Geb is the god of the dust, like the god of the earth, dirt, that kind of stuff. Remember what the next plague is?
The little bitty
Grasshopper.
things, what do you call them?
The,
Gnats.
Lice from the
Oh,
dust.
lice, because the
Yeah.
gnats come later.
Yep. So he shows that not only am I stronger than the Nile, because I killed the Nile, not only can I show you that I can, I have power over the frogs that you think Hecate has power over. Not only that, but I also have power over the earth, and I can make you produce lice. The next god is Khepri. And Khepri is movement, sun, rebirth, reincarnation, those kind of things. He is said to be a deity who has the head of a. Remember what the next plague is?
Flies?
Flies. She's got it. So Khepri is depicted often as a fly-headed deity, and the next one is the swarm of flies. But he's the god of the movement of the sun, skies, rebirth, that kind of thing. Okay. So you see how, I don't want to take the time to go through all of them, but every single plague is a target at a specific Egyptian god or goddess. All of them, the Egyptian magicians could recreate, except for which one?
the killing of the children.
Boom. And what god do you think he kills with that one? Or shows he has power over with that one? No. Pharaoh. Pharaoh would be the god. Okay? Anyway.
Well, Pharaoh's also his crown, snake.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yep. And
a
really,
lot of some of the miracle had to do with snakes.
well, the first one was, yes, it was the snakes, right? Because, the magicians throw down their rods and they become snakes, and so.
Moses' rod or Aaron's rod swallows up all the other snakes.
Yeah, and okay, so that isn't a play, but that just shows that, what was her name? It's not Hecate, it's Hecate. Heka is the goddess of magic in Egypt, and she's often depicted as a snake-headed goddess. So God is saying, I'm stronger than your magic, basically. So it's not a play, but it is another demonstration of these old power dynamics that happen in that particular narrative. So, anyway, we'll do a study of that next. How about? This is really cool. We missed this because we don't have an ancient Near Eastern context in mind when we think of these plagues. We just think they're just weird demonstrations of power, that God has. But there's actually intentionality behind what He's doing with each of those. Can I help you?
I'm just
Sir?
watching. Hi.
Yes.
You're cute, but yeah. Anyway,
Oh.
so. Yeah, when you start looking into that, it makes the plagues make a lot more sense, because what God is trying to demonstrate, not to Pharaoh. This is very important. This is why God stiffened, that phrase in Hebrew, hardened his heart, is not a really good translation of that phrase. Really, it's more like stiffened resolve. Pharaoh wanted to give up at one point, but Pharaoh kept stiffening his spine is a better way to say that. Like stiff upper lip, stiffen your back. Like he was being stubborn. At one point, he wanted to break, and it says God. So Pharaoh keeps stiffening his spine against what God is doing, and then as he's about to break, God stiffens his spine. Meaning God.
Not finished with the demonstration.
Not necessarily that he caused, and just what God was doing was continually making him more set in what he wanted to do. But the reason that that needed to happen was because it wasn't for the benefit of the Egyptians and for Pharaoh that God was doing the plagues. It was to show Israel that he was more powerful than the gods that they worshipped. Remember, they worship the gods of Israel. You can see that in how they, what they end up doing with the calves and the golden calf and that kind of thing. It's very Egyptian. One of the gods has the head of a bull.
Okay, just before that, weren't the Israelites beginning to worship the gods of Egypt?
Well, yeah, in the 430 years of slavery, yeah, they converted over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's showing them that I'm more powerful than these gods. I'm the god of your ancestors, and I am more powerful than the gods of Egypt. So he's trying to demonstrate to the Israelites, not to the Egyptians, that he's powerful, although it's a secondary benefit. The primary goal is to show the Israelites that, hey, I am the God that you should worship, not these other ones. I'm going to move your purse, because I might sit down a moment. Okay, so we are in Amos. We are in chapter 2 of Amos. Let me pull out my notes here. There was one question that I got asked about the 3 and the 4. Because we've seen this pattern a lot, for 3 sins and for 4. Right? What is that idiom? And I don't know that I explained it so well last time. So what this idiom is, the term 4 is used often, a lot, in the ancient Near Eastern literature. There are 4 phases of the moon. In the ancient world, there were 4 divisions of the year, compass directions, wind directions, corners of the earth. The number 4 comes to symbolize completeness in the ancient Near Eastern mindset. Numbers are symbolic. All right. So oftentimes we read some of the numbers in the Old Testament and the Tanakh, and we think that they're literal. Sometimes they're literal, sometimes they're symbolic. Not all of them are symbolic, not all of them are literal, right? So there's a balance here that we need to strike. But where, for example, there's in some camps, you can see that the ages, or they will say the ages of people in the Old Testament, in Genesis, Methuselah lived to be 969 years old. He wasn't really 969. They just ascribed to him the honor of that. It's the older that you said somebody was, the more honor you were ascribing to them. Okay? So there's kind of that interplay where yes, numbers can be symbolic, not always though. In this case, numbers are symbolic. So 4 symbolizes completeness. So when he says for 3 and yet for 4, he's talking about the completeness of their transgression against God and the how it's full. Okay? That's why he's saying there's no going back now. 3 is one of those numbers that we see a lot